Good evening and welcome to Sunday Night Satsang with John and
Hi, Michelle.
Michelle. Trust you've had a beautiful Sunday. We have had a beautiful day in Cape Town. The weather's been absolutely
incredible.
stunning.
That's the most perfect day.
Absolutely. And we
We've
went
had
for a
in
lovely
ages.
walk in the forest. So we've had a beautiful day and hopefully you have as well. And now this is the best part of the day. You know why?
Yeah.
Because it's the present moment.
It's true.
The present moment's always the best part. So welcome. Thank you for the hearts that we're getting there. We really love getting the hearts. And thank you, for your messages. Hello, Paula.
Hello, Paula.
Yeah, hi, folks. Lovely seeing you once again. And if you enjoy what we have to share or you think there's value in it, then can you share it as well on your timeline? It really does help get the information out there if you share, if you press the like and the share button. So if you can do that, that's really, really great.
Lovely.
Okay, so
Yes. Hi, Claire.
yeah, more hearts. Thank you for the more hearts.
Wendy.
Hello,
hi.
Wendy. Hello, Cecilia.
Yeah, beautiful
hi.
to have you all.
Hi. So tonight we're going to be talking about.
Well, the lunar eclipse.
Okay, we'll talk about the lunar eclipse.
Beaming into the sky as we speak.
I trust it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Yeah. And we're talking about trust and
transformation.
And transformation. Trust and transformation. That's, I think, two very pertinent subjects to where we are right now, probably in our own lives, but also definitely in the greater community of the human race. Trust and transformation. We said last week we were going to talk a bit about trust, and so we added transformation as well. Thank you. That's a lovely message there from Claire.
Thanks, Claire.
Thank you. Yeah. All right, so let's just settle down, maybe gently closing your eyes if you like. You don't have to close your eyes, but it is quite centering when you do close your eyes because you bring your awareness inside. But there are very good meditations where you just keep your eyes open as well and focus on one particular item like a flickering candle flame. That's also very powerful. So just gently maybe close your eyes, center yourselves into your bodies, because the body is always present, and just become aware of what it feels like to be alive right now, in this moment. What does it feel like? You can ask yourself the question, how do I know I'm alive right now? And as you ask that question, you might find there's a stepping back. There's a stepping back from the mind, from the story. There's a stepping back from your name, from your gender, from your race, from the roles that you play in life. How do I know I'm alive? And there's a stepping back behind all of those doingnesses in the world of form. To know that you're alive is a reconnection with the awareness in this moment. Just the awareness in this moment. And another beautiful, beautiful tool that we can use to step back into presence, into alignment with life, alignment into reality, which is always here and now, is the tool of the awareness of the breath of life. So let's do that, shall we, in this moment? Let's just focus on the tip of our nose. Just become aware of that slight temperature change between the in-breath and the out-breath. Just monitor with your awareness that rhythmic flow of the in-breath and the pause and the out-breath and the pause. Paying attention to that pause between the two. And let's consciously now take a very deep breath in. And as we breathe in by pulling the air down into the diaphragm. So we're blowing our tummy up. And then we surrender. And as we breathe out, so we drop our shoulders and we release and we let go. Let's try that again, shall we? We take a deep breath in, blowing our tummy up like a big ball. And then that surrendered out breath. And you might even like to sigh. It's helpful to sigh. That's releasing, letting go. Take a third very deep breath in now. Right down to your feet this time and to the top of your head, so you're really filling your body up. And as you breathe out, just become aware as you let go that you are trusting that the next breath is going to be there. That surrender is trusting life. And that is something we do every single time we exhale. It's a process of trust. And you find that the in-breath is there. And it's trusting in this intelligence which we call life. Let's just bring our awareness further deeper and down into the physical body, becoming aware of the chair that you're sitting on, becoming aware of the cushion, possibly, becoming aware of your feet and where your feet are resting right now, becoming aware of your toes, becoming aware of your big toe on your right foot, becoming aware of your big toe on your left foot, becoming aware of your toenail on that toe without looking. Just go inside and feel the toenail from the inside. And bring your awareness back to the gentle flow of the breath in this moment. And at the same time, become aware of everything you can hear. Hearing is another portal into direct connection with presence. Becoming aware of the faintest, furthest sound you can hear right now. And as you listen, just become aware of who listens. It's not your name that's listening, it's not your age, not your gender, it's not your education. It's something deeper, something more eternal, something more real that listens. And as you listen, keeping your awareness on the chair that you're sitting on, and your feet, and the breath, become aware of how you feel inside in this moment. What are the feelings within you in this moment as you become aware that you are listening, as you become aware that you are breathing, as you become aware of the awareness that's aware of your feet, your toes. You possibly may be becoming aware of an inner quietness, an inner stillness, an inner nothingness, an inner emptiness. Is this emptiness not pure awareness? This no-thingness, while it has no shape, it seems infinite in its beingness. Take another beautiful deep breath in now, filling your lungs. And a beautiful, long, relaxing breath out, just letting it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Take another very deep breath in, gentle, deep breath. And as you breathe out, just say thank you. Just thank you, for being here tonight. Thank you for life. Thank you for the ability to listen. Thank you for the ability to be aware of the breath. Just thank you for the life that animates the body. Just thank you. And when you're ready, you may gently, softly open your eyes, just becoming aware of how beautiful this moment is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Lovely to see you here with us
Yep.
on this beautiful Sunday evening.
What do the stars have to tell us tonight?
Well, some of you have already watched the update. Some are going to go into large detail about it.
Yeah, and if you haven't watched Michelle's full moon update, please do. It's really beautiful. And I think there's a lot of very practical guidance there for us as well. It's below in the
should be there,
on
yes,
the
on the page.
on the page, on the Journeys of Awakening page. Yeah.
So it's a lunar eclipse tomorrow morning early. It's about 6ish. We can see it in South Africa. So if you want to get up early, you can actually watch it as the shadow crosses over the moon. It's quite beautiful to watch, but more importantly to feel it, I think. So lunar eclipse is always at a full moon, but it's a very, 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 very strong full moon. I mean, some people say it's 100 times as powerful in terms of the energy that it actually creates, gives off. So if you've been feeling very strong energy for the last week or so, because it has a much longer effect as well, sometimes you can feel it up to a month before and a month after. So we had a solar eclipse 2 weeks ago, and now the lunar eclipse. So it's almost like we're in a tunnel. The lunar eclipse, being the full moon, is a release point. Always new moons are planting points where we actually plant seeds, and then full moon is where we release. So a lot can come to light at a full moon, especially at a lunar eclipse. And this one is in Scorpio. So Scorpio is a fixed water sign. And what is fixed water? It's holding. It's a holding place. So it's water being contained. And if you look at water and what it represents in astrology and just as an element, it's our capacity to feel. It's our capacity to nurture, to nourish. And so a lunar eclipse in Scorpio is deep feelings. So if you look at a course, a body of water, let's just say a dam, you don't know how deep that goes, or a lake, and how deep it is and what's lying at the bottom of that lake. And so you might be just seeing the still surface, but you don't know what's actually happening underneath. So Scorpio lunar eclipse is what is underneath, what is coming to the surface. And Scorpio being the sign that's really related to transformation. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight, the theme of transformation, which is kind of the theme of the unknown in a way, because transformation is, in a sense, what hasn't been born yet. What's dying and what's being born, but we're kind of in the tunnel. And this is part of a much bigger picture. Obviously, the solar eclipse is just one part of what's going on right now. But it is a time to kind of reflect on and to go, even though it's a full moon, which is often a time when things are bigger and brighter and more in our face. Our emotions are definitely bigger. Our issues, if we've got issues, tend to be bigger. If we're more anxious, we'd be more anxious often. If we're in a really good space, then that could be that we're just really in a good space. If the eclipse is working with your chart, I've had a few people phoning me today and messaging me saying, what's going on? I can really feel it. And it's because it's actually connecting directly with either the sun, the moon, the ascendant. And when it does that, then obviously you can feel it even more. So it's the sort of the antidote to it, or the opposite sign is Taurus. And Taurus is about grounding and rooting and connecting with our feelings, with our bodies, with our senses, to actually bring us to contain those feelings that might be coming up. instead of judging them, instead of saying, why am I feeling this? Why is this coming up again? I thought I'd done this already. I thought this pattern was sorted. We also have Mercury Retrograde, which is our communications, which is our thought patterns, which are those patterns that play in our heads. We call it the roommate in the mind. When Mercury goes retrograde, it tends to bring those back. We tend to go back and look at things like that. Pluto is also retrograde. Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. So Pluto retrograde brings things up from the surface. What's here? What is here to actually be let go of and released at this point? What isn't serving you? And then the other part of it is what is valuable to you now, at this point in your life. What are your actual values? Where's your authenticity? Are you speaking your truth? Or are you saying what other people want you to say because you think they want you to say that? So it's a multifaceted full moon.
Yeah, a time of really stirring up the emotions. And you may find your dreams, I don't know if your dreams have been very vivid lately, but a lot of people have been experiencing a lot of very, very vivid dreams. And you may find that they reflect this energy that Michelle is sharing there, the energy of bringing back the past so that you can deal with it once more from a much higher level, so that you can see it from a different perspective, maybe a different viewpoint. Maybe you can see a situation from someone else's point of view. So these are all things to be aware of at this time. So the dreams, very powerful. Maybe write them down and look at what can I learn from this dream? What's the wisdom that's being shared with me in this dream. And then also what Michelle said there is, the opposite sign is Taurus, and that's very much about grounding. So what we did this afternoon, we went for a walk in the forest, barefoot of course, and it was beautiful walking on the autumn leaves in the southern hemisphere. We've got autumn at the moment, and it was such a rich experience that we've had a little bit of rain, and it wasn't too muddy, but it was a little bit of mud, and the leaves and the richness, and knowing that we're connecting with Mother Earth through our bare feet. So that's something which we can do to help balance the wateriness of the emotions, is to connect back with the solidity of Mother Earth.
Yeah, very much so. And just in terms of the dreams, they are really intense. We've also got Mars and Neptune. Neptune's the planet of dreams in the sign of Pisces, which is the sign of dreams, next to Mars in Pisces. So dreams are definitely coming up, and it's very connected to this eclipse. So if dreams are coming up, I mean, I've had two major ones in the last couple of nights, and I've sat down and I've actually looked at them and really reflected on how does it feel? What does this dream feel like to me? Is it saying something? It could be a visitation from the past. It could be a parent. It could be a loved one that's passed, an ancestor. It could be someone from your past that shows up in your dream in some form to show you something, to guide you, to teach you, to show you the way. So it's a very interesting time that we're going through. And then the last thing astrologically, just if you haven't watched the update, is that we also have a brand new cycle of opportunity and expansion, and that's compliments of Jupiter, which has moved into the sign of Aries for the first time in 12 years. So it'll link back to 12 years ago, but obviously you've come up a spiral. You're not just going around in the same circle over and over, even though it feels like it sometimes. So look back and see, right, April, May last 12 years ago, what was going on for you then? What's going on for you now? How are you different now? How have your values changed now? If similar themes have come up, what's the main theme of those themes? How can you work with it differently this time? Yeah, so big themes. But the overwhelming the biggest theme for me on this one is transformation.
Yeah.
And because it links very clearly into what we've been speaking about for a couple of years now, and also with the Pluto retrograde, it's very, very transformative, which is not easy for us humans, because transformation often means letting go of. And a full moon is letting go, releasing. It's not bringing in more to actually fill us up. It's letting go of. That's the energy of a full moon, and a lunar eclipse especially. Yeah. So transformation and trust.
Yeah, transformation, that is really the big theme of our lives at the moment is transformation. And one of the things that the mind does, particularly the personality and the ego, is it says, why me, Lord? Why am I being punished in this way? Why have I come back to the same place I was at, X, Y, Z? And no, you haven't come back to the same place. You're actually at the cycle now of releasing that old energy. You maybe are, it perceives to be the same place, but it actually isn't. It's actually revisiting from a perceptual point of view something that needs to be released right now. There are beautiful times ahead, but we need to go through this process of transformation. I mean, the analogy which we always talk about is that deer which you put onto the lovely video that we put out advertising tonight's satsang, is that the caterpillar that's emerging from the pupa, and there's that process of having to lose the old. I mean, in the pupa, the poor old caterpillar loses legs, loses feelers, loses everything.
Yeah.
And everything dissolves. And no, it's not being punished. The poor old caterpillar might think it's being punished. Well, it doesn't think, so it won't do that. but it actually aligns with life, and it accepts this dissolution of the old. And what emerges from that cocoon is something that the caterpillar couldn't even begin to comprehend with its limited caterpillar mind. And I just want to say to all of you, that is exactly our destiny. The mind cannot comprehend what is going to emerge out of this process of a lot of challenge, a lot of suffering on the planet at the moment. Something really beautiful is going to emerge out of that, but it requires us to participate in that process. How do we participate in it? By becoming conscious of who we are and what we're going through. Instead of resisting and going back into the old, why me, Lord, accept that this is a process of good in our lives. Even when we look out at the world and we see the horrors in the world, know that this is perfect for humanity's transformation. If it was any easier, we wouldn't get the gift of that. Can you imagine going to gym and you rock up there in the morning or whatever, and you find that there's no resistance in any of the gym equipment. It's all just super easy to do. And I mean, you might work out for an hour or so and you leave the gym and you've achieved nothing. It is through the challenges of life that we grow. And so this is not a time of punishment. Just because times are difficult for a lot of people doesn't mean you've done something wrong. It means you're being presented with an opportunity to strengthen that inner spiritual muscle that you have, and to awaken to something more magnificent than your mind has ever dreamt of.
Because when do we grow? I mean, let's just face it. We don't grow when we're sipping cocktails on a beach. As much as we want to sip cocktails on a beach, that's not when we grow. That's not when we grow. We grow when our back's against the wall, when things are tough, when we can't see our way clear, where we don't know what the future is, where everything's confusing, where things might not be working the way we want it to work. Our ego minds want it to work. That's when we grow, because it pushes us into our deeper resources. And the human parts of us, we resist that. We want things to go the way we want them to go. I should know the answer to this because I want to know the answer to this. I need a job. I need it now. I need to know where to live. I need to know now. I don't want to be in the unknown. The unknown is not comfortable for us humans, but it's essential for evolution and for soul growth. It's essential. And yet when we're in the unknown, it's almost like we punish ourselves and say, but why am I in this place again? Why don't I know? Why can't I find my way? Or why aren't my prayers being answered? So and that takes us back into a cycle, to downward spiral.
And that's really where that other word that we're going to talk about tonight comes in, the word of trust.
Yeah.
And what does trust mean to you? For most people, it means that I can depend on situations, circumstances unfolding in the future that's going to meet my needs. And when we say meet my needs, we actually mean it's going to meet my insecurities, my the inadequacies of my ego and my mind. It's going to paper over all of those. That's quite often what we mean when we say the word trust. And I would suggest that we need to refocus what the word trust means to us. When we look at, so for example, let's use the analogy of a big ocean. And in the middle of the ocean, there's a wave. And the wave is rippling along. And it is very concerned about where it's going. Are its needs going to be met in the future? And it's going to say, but I trust that the ocean, the surface of the ocean is going to meet all my needs. And that's one way of looking at trust, and that tends to always end up in pain and suffering. Because on that plane, on what I call the horizontal plane, there's always change, and everything dies. Everything comes and everything goes, and nothing is permanent. And that little wave in the middle of the ocean, where can it find true trust? By going into its true essence, realizing that it isn't merely a wave on the ocean, that it is in fact the ocean itself that's waving. And trust is when you go into the vertical plane. In other words, you drop down into the depth of being itself. So the horizontal plane is what Michelle said earlier, it's the human experience, which is always ups and downs and insecurities and hopes and dreams.
Rights and wrongs and goods and bads.
Right. And the vertical plane is the depth of life. That's when that wave recognizes its true essence. And not only does it recognize its true essence as part of the ocean, but it also recognizes its oneness with every other wave. There's no separateness from that. Now, this is the process of transformation that we're going through. This is the evolution of the human species. This is the reason we're being challenged in the ways that we are being challenged. Because as I've said many times in the past, it's easier to wake up from a nightmare than a comfortable dream. When you're sitting on that beach drinking that, what did you say it was? A cocktail or whatever.
There's no umbrellas.
Life is so wonderful and so perfect the way you are on the horizontal plane that, you're not going to wake up from any dream. No. But when life does present you with a lot of challenges and you start to say, hang on a minute, there's got to be a better way here. That's when you will start to look deeper into another way of being. And in fact, you will start to maybe awaken to the true essence of life, which is being, not so much the doing part, but the being part. And that's really what we are going through. Mm-hmm. And the evolution of human consciousness is to step out of time into presence. And that might sound quite wafty for a lot of people, but in fact, it's wafty for the mind because the mind can only comprehend time. It has no reference point in presence, but we are presence. It's who we are. And stepping through this portal of transformation is really coming home to who and what you always have been and always will be. Mm. It's an awakening process. It's a self-realization process.
Mm. And what if the very struggle or pain that you're going through right now is the absolute best possible thing that could be happening for your soul's evolution? What if it's exactly this thing that's making you realize how anxious you are, or how fearful you are, or how sad you are, or what you're still hanging on to, or how much you are ruled by your mind? And all of us are going through it. So what if this is our biggest opportunity ever to evolve? And I suspect that it is, in terms of our lifetime, not just today in this solar eclipse, but all of the energy right now. There's so many other things going on that we're not even aware of. This is a huge opportunity to shift. We keep saying it, and it sounds like, whatever, it's just another. No, it is. This is it. And so if you have not been able to look at yourself, if you haven't been able to actually do self-inquiry and see, where are my worries, where are my anxieties? Oh my goodness, this is what I do. This is how my mind works, without judgment, just to see it, to become aware of it, to say, yep, that's there. It's still here. This is the way I react when this happens. And how can I shift that? Is that kind? Is it loving? Is it gentle for me and others? Is it serving me and others? To do that, to keep going back into that same pattern. Because it's revisiting the same old pattern. Eventually, when that becomes too painful, we just say, okay, I'm done with this pattern. I actually really, really, really want to shift this pattern. And the only way you shift it is by going into that nowhere place, that this place now. That's the only place that it can shift. But we think that we've got to do something. If I did that, then I'd sort it out. If I went there, then I'd sort it out.
If I got this.
If I got a new boyfriend, a new house, a new job, earned $1 million, then I wouldn't have this worry. It's not true. We know that. Wherever you go, there you are.
And there your mind is.
And there your mind is, even on the beach with little cocktails with umbrellas on. Your mind's still going to be there.
Yeah.
Telling you that, but what happens when you get home? And I mean, we see it all the time. And it's to actually see it and accept it even with some humor. Okay, God, there I am again. This is exactly what I do. Can I love myself even through this, despite this? The other thing I heard, it got sent to me today, was quite beautiful, was we're always talking about dealing with uncertainty. How do we deal with uncertainty? Because there's so much uncertainty right now. I know most of the people that I know are in the middle of making huge changes, or wanting to make huge change, or feeling called to make huge change, but not knowing where it's going to lead and what's going to happen. And this article that I read was called, he suggested, instead of saying dealing with uncertainty, what about if you had to change the word to navigating the mystery? And I love that. Or even embracing the mystery. It completely shifts it for me. Navigating change is, oh God, okay, I've got to navigate this. Or, dealing with change. How do I deal with this? Which almost suggests I've got to deal with it. I've got to do 1, 2, 3 things, and then I've got to try and deal with this thing. Whereas navigating or embracing the mystery, it's kind of more humble. It suggests that we don't actually know what the outcome is, that we are actually connected to all that is, that we are actually part of the mystery, and that we're not in control. And so it becomes more kind of creative, almost.
Well, creativity always comes when we are in a surrendered state.
Yeah.
Always when we align with the vertical plane. That's where creativity comes from. And instead of treating life as a race to get somewhere, start looking at life as a dance, a creative dance, that we can access the joy in this moment. Why do so many people postpone the richness of life, the enjoyment of life, to some other time and some other place? I got a very quick, short download in the shower. I think it was this morning. Time is short. Just think about that. Quite often we postpone transformation within ourselves. I'm talking about this transformation, not transformation on the outside. But we postpone it because I'm not quite ready yet. I'm not quite yet ready to drop all that no longer serves me. I want to carry these old emotions with me, these old thought patterns with me. I'm not quite ready to surrender yet. And that download was time is short. Do it now. Whatever you need to do it now. And this is really where the word trust comes in again. Trust, you're not trusting in situations and circumstances. You are surrendering to the depth, to the very intelligence called life, that intelligence that beats your heart, that digests your food, that grows your fingernails, this is the intelligence that needs to be trusted, not your mind's projection into some imagined future, but trusting in presence, in the intelligence of presence, like the butterfly, like the caterpillar, for example. The caterpillar trusts that yes, its legs are meant to dissolve right now. Its feelers are meant to drop off right now. It is supposed to have this hardened chrysalis around it, this pupa around it. It's meant to be constricted in this way. Its whole body is meant to disintegrate in this moment. That is the real trust that we're talking about here, is trusting in that whatever you're going through right now, whatever difficult situations or circumstance you're going through right now, it is, as Michelle said, for your highest growth, for your highest transformational good. And give up the need to say no. Give up the idea of resistance to life. If there's something you need to do, do it. But do it in a state of gratefulness, in acceptance, in joyful acceptance. Instead of doing it resentfully, do it enjoying life. That is stepping into the new consciousness that's waiting for us on the other side of this. But you've got to be the change you desire to see in the world. Don't postpone your life. Time is short.
It's a strong
Time
message.
is short.
Krish asked, how do you surrender to uncertainty? So, surrender is the key. But what is surrender? Surrender is not giving up. Surrender is accepting that this is happening. And instead of resisting it like this, saying it shouldn't be happening, I do that and I say, it's happening. I surrender to it. I surrender to the fact that I am uncertain. I surrender to the unknowingness. I accept that I don't know. And I find peace in that. And that's a practice that we're all going through.
Yeah.
It's a practice, ongoing. As the resistance comes up, or as the anxiety comes up, as we feel like we've got to control this because there's fear that comes up. It's to feel the fear that comes up in that moment and surrender to that as well.
Yeah, Wendy said their trust would settle all the problems now. And that's a very good point. So problems are always ripples on the surface of being. That's where problems are. They're always ripples. They come and they go. If you think of your major problems from 10 years ago, from 20 years ago, where are they now? They're gone. So problems are ripples on the surface of being. And just a suggestion is go under them. Yes. Go deeper. Go into the ocean of life, the ocean of presence, where there are no problems. There are no problems in the present moment ever. There's situations which need to be dealt with or left alone. There's no problem in that. So this is a case of surrendering, meaning to go under, to go deeper into presence and trust that you are life, that you are this depth of ocean of being itself. That's who you are. So this process of transformation is very much a self-realization transformational journey. It's a process of realizing what is real, what is eternal, what cannot be threatened, and in that recognition there is peace, there is trust in that what is real can never be threatened. That essence of what you're not is being threatened moment to moment to moment. Time threatens your very human existence. That's what time does. But time doesn't ever threaten being. Time does not threaten presence. Time does not ever threaten the present moment. You can't take the present moment away from you. Everything in the vertical plane is beyond time, beyond the threat of time, beyond the threat of annihilation. Everything on the horizontal plane is subject to time and subject to being threatened by annihilation. And this is a very good time to come home to who you really are, which is your being, which is presence, which is the depth of life itself. You are life. You don't have a life. You are life. I see that the major tool to manipulate mankind to walk in a certain direction in the last couple of years, just such a a misperception of reality. You cannot lose what you are. You can only lose what you have. Life is something that you are. You are life. You are one with life. One with life is an acronym for I. When you start to realize that you are life itself, you cannot lose what you've got. You can lose what you have, what you hold on to, but you cannot lose who you really, really are. And that is life. Now, don't ask your mind to understand that statement, because your mind only understands things. It thinks that you are a thing. It thinks that other people is a thingness. You're not a thingness. You're a no thingness. You are timeless. You are that depth of ocean. And this is the transformation. And it's a transformation which does require us to surrender our mind. It is the mind that worries. It's the mind that's anxious. It's the mind that's fearful. You aren't. The real essence of who you are cannot be anxious, cannot be fearful, because all of those are functions of the time mind.
And you surrender that mind right now. You don't worry about surrendering it all the time forevermore. You have a mind, but in this moment you can surrender. In this moment. And then in the next moment, when it's the now, you surrender it again. Misty said something beautiful. She said, surrender's not giving up, it's giving over. It's giving over. It's doing that.
So stepping back
it's
into
stepping back or stepping under. I love that. I love the going under.
Stepping under the mind, letting all the turmoil of the waves on the surface of being, let them be there. You just step under, step into the depth of this incredible peace in the present moment, which is always here. And just a plug while we're talking about peace. So at the month end, we're doing a meditation, a retreat at the Buddhist Retreat Center in Ekopo in Natal. And that's a beautiful place of connecting directly with Mother Earth and with peace and with beautiful, beautiful people. So if any of you would like a physical transformational experience, join us the 27th to the 31st of this month at the Buddhist Retreat Center. We're not taking bookings for that. You have to book directly with the Buddhist Retreat Center. Just go directly to their website, BRC in Ekopo, and you can book there as well. And then the other help situation is that we have a new online course starting on the 2nd of June.
Yeah, and what I want to say about that is the first week of that course is the foundation course, and we've called it the Liberation Map week. It's a free week, and basically what John is talking about here in terms of the vertical plane and the horizontal plane, if you haven't been on one of our workshops before, you might not know what he's talking about. So that Liberation Map week is where we actually teach you that. It's an exceptional map which stands everybody that gets it instead for the rest of their lives. And then that's the beginning of our 13-week course. It's going to be the 11th one we've done since COVID happened 2 years ago. We've done 10. This is the 11th one. And it's a powerful process of transformation. That is what the course is. And it's to give you tools to continue to transform in your life. So join us for the first week. It's free. You get a full week. You get 2 Zoom calls. You get journal questions, creative things, meditations.
Where can they sign up?
journeysofawakening.com, and we'll put the link below this afterwards. Yeah.
But the ads are below as well. If you scroll down on the page, you'll see the
ads.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no obligation to join for the first week, and you still get a lot of insight out of that.
So people quite often ask, what's the point of this transformation? Point is very simple. It's freedom, true freedom, not the freedom that's granted to you by a government or by financial success, not that freedom. This is true liberation of your true essence, which is spirit, which is being. So if you'd like to join us there, it's Journey to Freedom 11. It's a 13-week course, and it starts on the 2nd of June. And as Michelle said, the first week is free.
Yeah, Misty says the map of John's is literally mind-blowing.
Well, that's what it does. It blows the mind because the mind is on the horizontal plane. Yeah. Thank you for that.
It does. Yeah. It does, and it can, and it has, and it will.
Yeah.
That is the function of it. So it starts 2nd of June. That's our first Zoom call.
Yeah.
So for those of you who have done the journey, or those of you who do know the map, this is the time to do the work.
Yeah.
This is the time to actually apply that map and to bring yourself back over and over.
Into what's real, into what's really, really, really important.
Yeah.
And that is the depth of life itself. And so you want
So
to say
let's
something?
hear it, Karen.
I just want to say, coming back to tonight's topic of trust and transformation, and that download that I was given, that time is short. Now is the time to do this work. You know, people often say, but I'll postpone it to a later time when my life circumstances are different, or where this has changed, or where that. No, now is the time to do the work, the real work.
It is.
And to trust that if you make a choice to do something, life will be there to support it, to support you through the journey. If, you know, people often put barriers between them and their real spiritual work because they don't have enough time. You know, if I invest time in my spiritual work, then this is going to go wrong and that's going to go wrong in my life. Say no. This is the most important part of your journey right now, is the spiritual awakening that we're going through. And to trust that that same intelligence that beats your heart, that digests your food, that enables you to hear and to see, that energy will meet your external circumstances in miraculous ways. You know, people often, they doubt that this energy even exists, this intelligence called life. Well, you came from it. Don't think your parents made you. Your parents don't have a clue how to make a liver or a kidney. They don't know how to make an eyeball. Life did. Life made you. And that intelligence has never left you. It didn't leave you when you were born. It is still with you in this moment. It is, in fact, the depth of ocean itself is life. That is what it is. And this process of trust is to come back to the awareness of who and what you really are. That is what trust is. Not trust in the future, but trust in the depth of being itself, which some people give a word to, and we use the acronym for that, the Grand Organizing Design, GOD. That is the depth of life. That is the beauty of life. Yeah. And this process of transformation is, it is challenging. It is difficult. We all signed up for it. We weren't forced to come here to the planet at this time. We actually chose. In fact, souls were fighting to get in here to experience this incredible process. Yes, it's challenging. Yes, it might be disturbing. Yes, it may require us to surrender things that we don't want to give up. But that is the beauty of this. It is a process right now, stepping out of the old and being open to receive the new. You know, if you're holding on to the old, you're not there in the way that you need to be to receive the new. We need to be open. That is really, that is the number one key at the moment, is to be open to whatever life is giving you in this moment, because that's what you really need.
That's it. That's exactly what I was going to say, is be open to it. Don't question it. Don't judge it. Don't say, I've done something wrong and that's why my life is the way it is. No, your life is the way it is because that's what you need to be going through right now, as hard as it might be. You haven't done anything wrong.
Yeah, you're not being punished.
You're not being punished.
No.
In fact, you're ready. Otherwise, you wouldn't be going through this.
Yeah.
You're ready to actually drop the stuff that you don't need to carry around anymore. All of us are.
Yeah, and we were walking in the forest earlier and we were looking at all the autumn leaves on the ground, and we're just saying, you know, we've spoken about this before, if the tree was human, it would be thinking it's being punished because its leaves are all dropping off. It's done something wrong.
And now they're getting trampled on.
Yeah, and people are just walking on my leaves.
And then they're going to go underneath the earth again and they're going to disappear.
Yeah, but thank God trees aren't human.
Thank goodness.
They give up, they surrender to life, to the seasons of life.
Yeah.
And therefore, they don't experience fear and anxiety like humans do. Yeah.
You just stand next to one of those old beauties.
That beautiful
huge
trees, yeah.
And just the stillness. with this rootedness.
Yeah.
Just get into nature, guys.
Yeah.
Really. Get into nature.
Grounding is really important at this time.
Open, and get into nature.
Yeah. While the flows of water in the moon with emotions, let's get our feet in the ground.
And this energy is going to be around for a while. Okay. So, and the last thing is the obstacles that you might be facing are the very thing that's actually pushing you to the growth and to the transformation. So instead of seeing the obstacles, because there's something there as well, instead of seeing the obstacles as, damn, obstacles, why have I got obstacles? See it as, obstacles. Okay, this is more of the mystery. These obstacles are producing some kind of energy to shift me forward. So it always depends on the way we see it.
Yeah, that quote that was given earlier on Rumi, see every single challenge as a gift to help you transform. Thank you. Are you going to lead us out?
Yes. I've got too much time, so I'll do a slightly short.
Then just stick around for the affirmation at the end.
Okay. Lean forward a bit. Okay. Take a deep, beautiful breath in. And a releasing breath out. Just settle in wherever you are. Get yourself really comfortable. And take another really beautiful, long, slow breath in. Stop at the top of the breath and then out breath. Let it all out, even with a sigh. Let all the pressure go, all the tension go. Another third deep breath in. And let it all go. And as you let it all go, soften your body. Drop your shoulders. Put your shoulders back just a little bit so you open your heart. And just now connect with your breath. Allow it to just breathe you. Allow life to breathe you in this moment. Just connecting with the sounds that you can hear. Connecting with how you feel in this moment. No judgment. If you can just hold a very gentle healing space for how you feel right now. Allow yourself to open even more to whatever is coming up for you, whatever that feeling. Imagine that you could open and soften your heart and allow even more of that feeling. And even more as thoughts come in. Imagine dropping down beneath them, as if you were dropping down into a beautiful, calm body of water, like a pebble. Imagine that pebble drifting down softly, 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 all the way down to the bottom and landing very gently on the sand where there's complete stillness, complete peace. Complete surrender in this moment. just open to this peace. From this place of peace, allow yourself to release whatever you do not need. Allow that, whatever it is that comes up for you, to be released from you and to drift up onto the surface of the water and to be washed away. If something else comes up for you that you'd like to release, a mental pattern, a habit, a way of reacting, a difficult pattern of reacting emotionally, maybe an anxiety or worry, maybe concern about the future. Allow it all to drift up to the surface of the water and to dissipate. Staying very quiet, very still, totally surrendered and open. Supported by the ground beneath you. And now imagine some roots going out from underneath your feet, down into the middle of Mother Earth, down, 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 all the way down into the very core of Mother Earth. There's a beautiful big golden heart. Connect with that heart energy. Connect with the warmth, the love, the support. And bring that golden energy from the depths of the earth, from the core, that warm, beautiful, nurturing, inspiring energy. Bring that all the way up for a spark of that into your own heart. And from this place, set your intention for this week to live with an open heart. To live in a more surrendered way, a more accepting, a more loving, a more nurturing way. To live kinder, more gentle. To be open. To be present. To trust in life. Take a deep breath in and out. And another deep breath in. And releasing breath out. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
That was beautiful. That's lovely. How do you feel? Let us know in the comments box how you feel right now. And if you've enjoyed tonight, please press the like and the share button. Thank you. We've got an affirmation for you. I misplaced my whole pack of cards.
You did, because we needed this
but
one.
luckily, life presented us with the
right one.
The right one, yeah. And this was right next to Michelle's desk here. And it's a perfect one for tonight, this affirmation. It says,
I now trust life and feel no more fear or anxiety. I am now free. How about that?
That's a beautiful one for tonight. I now trust life and feel no more fear or anxiety. I am now free. I'll photograph it and put it on the Journeys page in a few moments' time. Thank you for being with us tonight. For those of you who are part of our inner space community, which you're all welcome to join, we'll see you on Tuesday night, where we're looking at beauty, the power of beauty in our lives. So please join us Tuesday night, Inner Space.
Thanks
Thank you.
everyone.
Lots of love.
Love you lots.